Hi, guys. Welcome back. Again, it's me, Sierra, and today I am talking with Quinn RN. And today we're going to be talking about Yoni Health. So, Quinn, can you introduce yourself to everybody? Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Hey, everybody. My name is Quincy J. I am a RN with over 20 years of expertise. I know I look young, but I have been doing it for 20 years. I right now I focus on feminine health and intimacy. So I do have a YouTube channel. That channel is completely niche toward feminine health. When I talk about birth control, yoni care, anything dealing with a woman and her health and her self care. I'm really big on self care. I talk about that on my channel, and I also do some coaching as well in that area.
All right. That is awesome. So, Quinn, how did you get started in talking about women's health? Why women?
I've always been an advocate for women. So even I can remember in high school when people said, what are you good at? What do you want to do? It's time to be deciding what it is you want to be. I always knew I wanted to take care of people. It was just people. And then I always wanted to be a mom. I always wanted to be a mom. And I didn't know what else. I didn't know really what else. But it was time to make a decision. So nursing kind of fell in line with that. And in nursing, I did a lot of different things. In 20 years, I did a lot of stuff. But the thing that really had my heart is working with women. And that's based on the experiences that I've had. As a woman in healthcare, I actually made a YouTube video not too long ago, talking about the fact that I was 12 years old when I had my first, I wasn't 12. I was either 11 or 12 when I had my very first Pap. I wasn't sexually active. It was no reason for me to have that, but I had it because I went to the doctor with a stomach ache. And the doctor said that is what I needed. And my mom, I'm from a small country town. My mama did not, now that didn't excuse the doctor or anything like that. But my mom didn't know that that was not the course that we needed to take for a stomach ache. It was traumatic. It was, it impacted me forever. And it was like I knew that I didn't want those type of things to happen to my children or to anybody else just because of a lack of knowledge, I'll say.
Mhm.
So women's health is where I wanted to focus in on. And in 2018, I decided to start my channel. And it, kind of took off and is doing well. So I was like, these are things that women want to know. They want to know things that their moms didn't teach them. Because my mom, besides that situation, my mom didn't teach me anything really about women's health. It was kind of like my cycle came on. I love you, mom. You look at this. My cycle came on, and she was like, "Here you some tampons," and I was like, "They don't go. This is what else can we do?" Then she gave me some pads, and that was about it. It's gonna come every month. Work it out. So that's what I did, honestly. And I figured there was other women out there that was like me, and I have found there are many women out there. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. My phone goes off a lot. I found that there was a lot of women out there that were just like me.
Mhm.
So the channel, kind of took off. I got lots of comments. Then I just continued to pursue that, keep on talking about it. And I have a Facebook group where I talk about it. It's just kind of expanded from there.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, you said you were given a pap smear at that age. Like, I can't even imagine what that would feel like. I thought I was being traumatized at 15. Like, and at that point, I wasn't sexually active either. I can't imagine what that would be like for someone who is 11 years old saying, I have a stomach ache, and them going, oh, you need a pap smear. Wow.
It was traumatic. But I cried. Of course, I cried. Before I cried. I didn't know what was going on, and other than him telling, saying, we're gonna have to do a pap smear. My mom was kind of like, okay, this is what we're gonna have to do. The nurse came in and laid out the little, cover and told me I need to get undressed and everything. I'm thinking, why are we doing all of this?
Mhm.
And she was basically like, it's gonna be okay. Just go ahead and do it. Laying on the table. When I put my feet up in those stirrups as a child who didn't know nothing about nothing,
Mhm.
very traumatic.
Wow.
Very traumatic.
Wow. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That is awful and so nuts. Um, but
Thank
I'm so grateful that you are able to share your story and, help women so that nobody's child has to go to the doctor at that age for a stomach ache
you.
and be told your child needs a pap smear,
Right.
and actually do it. And you said that your mother didn't really teach you a lot about being able to take care of yourself. So, how did you learn what you needed to do as a woman? Like, did you kind of read books or did you learn it from friends or something? Like, where did you get that knowledge?
I learned mostly everything from my friends, and I want to say 98% of it was wrong. As far as as far as wearing pads and stuff, I kind of got the hang of that. I figured we need to switch this out. That kind of stuff kind of came to me, and then talking to my friends. But my conversations came from my friends. That's
Mm.
that's how I learned anything. I wasn't really reading. Back then, it was whatever my friends say. Who was like, "Girl, I did that. You need to do this," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So that's how I learned.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. So now you focus on yoni health and you said intimacy. What does intimacy look like? Like, how do you coach people and what kind of topics do you talk about?
So I like to say, a PG Quinn that you get on YouTube. And then there's the private coaching sector of Quinn that you get when you book a coaching call. I do have a website, and you can book with me there, and we can do a consultation. I do offer a free 15-minute consultation to see, if I can help you. But what my services are in that area is because we know there's different forms of intimacy. But I am talking about that physical aspect of intimacy between a man and a woman, or a man or a woman and a woman, or a man. I talk about that.
Mhm,
And I get very clear on, a lot of women they don't have orgasms. That's one of the big things. Like, I've never had an orgasm. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what we're doing.
wow.
I don't know. So a lot of it's that. A lot of it is learning techniques on things,
Mhm,
pertaining to intimacy. So it's that kind of one-on-ones, girl time. Sometimes I do girl parties and things like that, bachelorette parties. It's a fun time. It's an interesting time. So if you need techniques, or if you need to know, just needs to talk it out. Like, what can I do to work this out?
mhm,
Even if it's like an issue between me and my partner, what can we do to work this out?
mhm.
That type of.
Wow, that's wonderful. I'm glad that you offer that, especially in our community. I'm gonna take these off because it's light, it's blinding me. But in our community, I feel like we really don't talk about sex. We don't talk about intimacy, and like you said, a lot of mothers aren't teaching their daughters or their sons, really, or fathers and sons, how to be intimate. They don't teach them about their body, so you don't know what you don't know, and then your friends are telling you all this crazy stuff, and you're like, oh, yeah, girl, go ahead and get that douche. You
Yeah.
know, you need to clean that. So go ahead and put you some baking soda. And then when your pH is off and you itching,
Right. They trying to figure out what's going on. You didn't tell me about this part, girl. Yes. Yes. I was there. I know that's how it goes down. I did a whole series, and I'm a mother, I have three
Mhm,
children. I have two girls. Both of them are teenagers. So I have always had an open door policy. Do not ask your friend. If you ask your friend and they tell you XYZ, come ask me.
mhm,
I want to tell you, the truth, the facts, and I'm very open and blunt with my children. I even did
mhm.
on my channel, I did a series with my oldest daughter who graduated high school this year, actually, where
Oh,
I told her, don't tell me. I just want you to ask me the things you and your friends talk about. Ask me the
mhm,
things you are curious about. So it was like all right off. I was filming her asking me these questions, and ended up doing a whole series just for teenagers about the
mhm.
things they talk about, they wonder about. I remember being a teen. I still remember. So I know that they have questions, and a lot of times there are a lot of parents that are like mine that just don't really talk to you about what's going on.
Mhm. Wow, that is awesome. And definitely, please feel free to share a link underneath the video so that if parents want that information, they can have it. I know Alana is on here and she works with teenage girls. So, maybe you two can connect because these babies need some information. Uh-oh, we lost Quinn. Okay. Um, Hopefully she'll be back in just a second. But while we wait for her, yeah, hopefully Alana, you guys can connect and we can talk about some teenage issues. There she is. Let me add you back.
I was trying to find you to type the stuff in and left. I apologize, y'all. My bad. My bad.
Oh, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. You can just do it after the video is over. It'll be
Okay.
easier for you to do it that way. But yeah, we want our babies to know, but we also want our adult women to know because a lot of us are still using the information that we did get from mama and grandma. And just like you, I grew up in a small town in the backwoods. And
Yes.
don't know a lot of stuff. So I would see, douche when I was growing up, and they thought that was okay. I personally never really did douching like that, but that's what they thought. That's what they kind of taught. So there are so many women now that are dealing with these things like yeast infections and BV and all sorts of bacterial stuff going on down there and having things being off. So kind of what advice could you offer the women that are having issues in those areas?
I will say probably the first thing to do if you really think if you don't know what's going on, and I am on YouTube, so it's kind of fun for me to say this, but not necessarily jump on YouTube as the very first thing to find out. Kind of maybe go and talk to you can talk to your doctor. You can talk to your doctor. I'm a nurse, but I also believe in holistic health as well. But talk to your doctor because in some instances you do need to be tested if you're having odor. Now, one big myth I always get is like, well, I can smell myself and I'm having a discharge. I'm like, well, is it a foul odor? Is it a fishy odor? Because you're gonna have an odor. Everybody has their own unique. Every woman has their own unique odor. So if it's something like a foul odor, a thick, itchy discharge, it's you're having some discomfort, then reach out to your doctor first. I will say. But as far as like things that you can kind of become accustomed to, you at some point when it's a yeast infection. You can always go to your doctor, but there are treatments. And I know one of the biggest things right now is boric acid suppositories. There is a huge influx of people talking about boric acid suppositories. I've made videos on boric acid suppositories, and in fact, I have another video coming out very soon about boric acid suppositories. I have found that they have been very beneficial. I hear stories from women who have suffered years with recurrent yeast infection, recurrent BV, that swear this is the only thing that has worked for them. Now, this isn't an ad for boric acid suppositories, but it's just me letting y'all know that is an option out there for you when you are having issues like that. And you can't necessarily go in the store and find it very readily. They do have some brands on Amazon that you can check out, but you just want to make sure it's a brand that's pharmaceutical tested, that has the right dosage of the product, and you should be good.
Okay, so BV suppositories. Now, what about making sure that your partner is okay? Because one of the things I like to try to tell women is that sometimes they treat the woman, but we don't look at the partner because sometimes you can be passing that thing back and forth. So, like, what would you say as far as making sure that both you and your partner are good when you're having sex, because in sex we're passing bodily fluids, we're doing a lot of stuff, bacteria is getting in and out of places. So like what can you do to make sure that you're okay?
So definitely, like you said, you can pass it back and forth, back and forth. If you're getting treatment, then your partner needs to be treated as well. And a lot of people don't know that men can be treated, but they can, because just like you said, it'll be treated back. They'll just keep coming back and forth, back and forth. So that's a huge thing. Another thing is the use of condoms, because as we know, men have their own pH, we have our own pH, and a lot of times it just don't mesh. So this will continue to happen, continue to happen, continue to happen. So maybe condoms is an option for someone who just, I'm taking a treatment, he's doing his thing, we just can't seem to mesh together. Then that person may want to look into trying using condoms.
Hmm, that's really good. So, what are some things that can throw off a person's pH in that area?
Everything. It could be something you ate. It could be something new, that like new dishwashing detergent. It can be you went swimming and you didn't take your underwear off, so the moisture there. It could be, like I said, that man, y'all's connection isn't connected. So a lot of different variables there can throw your pH off. And it could be your cycle. A lot of women come on their cycle, and during their cycle, after their cycle, they are having some issues going on with their vaginas. And it's coming every month. There's nothing you can do about it. And that's one of those times where I know like boric acid will help or something like that.
Hmm.
And it
Okay.
doesn't mean it's like a STD. A lot of people think, there's something wrong with me. It doesn't mean, it's definitely not, an STD, but it is just something that happens. So we need to remove the stigma from that. That's the stigma that's around feminine odor.
Yeah, that's a big one, because I know a lot of us are using, like I said, the douche and all of these different things to try to make it smell sweeter. People are trying to just do all sorts of crazy things, just to make themselves smell better. But we do have to understand that there will be some type of odor, but you have to look out for the ones that give you warning signs.
Exactly.
So yes, that's really good. Now, what about these Yoni Pearls? Because I get people asking me questions all the time. I have my own personal thoughts and beliefs. But I want to ask a nurse, like, what do you think about the Yoni Pearls?
I personally, I don't suggest people use Yoni Pearls. Now, I've had people come at me, and I guess you say I made a video. I make a lot of videos about this stuff. Had a video about this. I actually purchased some pearls, and I was, researching and looking and thinking, and I decided, no, this is not for me. And the reason being is because the fact that Yoni Pearls, I think you insert them and they stay in there for like days at a time, and
Yeah.
it's an actual ball of herbs. It's a ball of herbs. So to me, in my nurse mind and my just woman mind, I'm thinking, okay, because I see all these graphic pictures of all this stuff that came out or whatever. I'm thinking, if your vagina was okay before you put that in there and you put it in there, yeah, it's gonna be leaking, and you got a ball of herbs cooking cooking in your vagina. Your vagina is crying for help. That's what all the stuff is. It's tears. In my opinion. Because I would think it would be irritating. I guess it's not a lot of people do it. I haven't done it. This is just my opinion, of course, but I don't suggest those. Now, I do think there are other options. If you're trying to detox, I think they set up a detoxing or whatever. If you think detox, of course, the vagina is self-cleansing. It is. But I do yoni steams. And that's different, a different thing. You're just getting the steam rise. We're not actually putting balls of things in our vagina to live, for days. So to answer your question, I went way all around it. I'm not with that.
Well, that is where we agree. I do not suggest putting herbs in your vagina. I really honestly don't even fool with tampons like that, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But the herbs, definitely not. And anything that has to sit in there for days, I really don't feel like that's okay. That's when we run into the risk of toxic shock syndrome and all of those other things. So, do what you do. But I personally, like you said, I steam. I don't fool with the balls and all of that. We're not doing that. So I'm glad that you said that because they can hear it from a medical professional. And, I get that all the time. Like, hey, girl, is it okay to put these things in? And I'm like, listen, you can do what you want to do, but if something happens to you, because some of those herbs can be, really, really strong. You walking around with eucalyptus and peppermints and all sorts of tea tree type of things in your vagina.
Right.
That can be very irritating. You don't even want to put the oil on your skin, straight out. You have to dilute it a lot before you can put the oil on your skin. So if you're putting the herb in there, woo. But
yeah, and they smell. I remember I opened it and I smelled it, and it actually like took my breath away almost. I was like, oh my God, it was no. Like you said, it's your vagina, but over here we're not doing it.
Right. Well, that's really good. Now, what about like diet? What should women be eating to make sure that they're good in that area? Is there anything that you can eat?
Well, I will say things that actually contribute to having issues or whatever. If you're having like a high fat diet, it's not good for anything. We know it. If you're eating, fresh fruits and vegetables, of course, are always good. If you like cranberry juice, but not the sweet, you got to get the 100% natural cranberry juice is good for vaginal health. Garlic, I think garlic is good for, they say, actually tightening of the vagina. If you want to go into another thing, it's just a good health measure. 100% pomegranate juice, so 100% cranberry juice, 100% pomegranate. Those things are all good for vaginal health. Of course, consuming like fruits and vegetables. I said that, but fruits. I know you hear a lot about pineapple. Like, if you eat pineapple, like, flavor gonna be nice. Pineapple, eat pineapple. So, yeah, those are just some things. A rather healthy diet, and probably the number one thing I would say is to drink plenty of water. I think water is so underrated. Water is so beneficial to the body altogether, but as far as like making yourself giving yourself a juicy consistency, a nice water. Water is very beneficial. Drink water, ladies. Drink water.
Yes, drink your water. And yes, I've also heard that the pineapple juice is good for that too. So, and I have tested that. Just
tested.
Right. That's really good advice. Now, what about people who have daughters? So I have two daughters. My oldest is 10. She'll be 11 in November, and she started her cycle this year. And my middle baby, she is 7. She'll be 8. Now, I personally, because I am, yes, girl, water and pineapples.
I comment to anything I don't, but yes.
Yes, lots of pineapples and water. But my oldest, because I'm a doula, I kind of tell them everything, and they've seen birth pictures. Like, they see it all pretty much. I mean, it is what it is. But they're comfortable with their body. Like, even my little 3-year-old son, he knows, like, okay, I've got 2 hoes, you got 3. Like, So, but that's just me. What about those moms that are kind of like, I don't know if I should say anything, or I really don't know what to say to my daughters? What would you kind of tell them as far as like maybe 3 things that they should absolutely teach their daughters?
I think what you're doing is right. I'm the same way with my children. I think you should, number one, always let your children know there's an open door policy to ask me about anything judgment free. Anything judgment free, starting at a very, very small age. Like I told you, I have 2 girls and a boy. He's 8. He asks mommy things. Like you said, he knows the difference. in girls and boys. He knows what his private area is. He knows what's not supposed to be messed with. He knows a lot at 8 years old. And like I said, my teenage girls, they know way more than I knew when I was that age. So you definitely want to have an open door policy and let your kids know, it's judgment free. Number two, I would say is to tell them things like, what the correct anatomy is. Okay, you have breasts, girls have breasts, boys have vaginas. Oh no, they don't. My teen is here and she's distracting me. Boys do not have vaginas. Stop. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. We have this conversation and she right here, and everything. But girls have vaginas. Okay. You have to let them know what the anatomy is. So that'll be the second thing. And the third thing is don't be afraid to ask somebody else for, help. And how do they talk to their kids? Getting opinions from others to me is a big factor in, I ask opinions of others all the time. Like, how y'all do that? What did you do for that? And then, of course, use the opinions that you get to come up with your own conclusions. But there are resources that you can use. There are books. I know we've had books in my home. There are things on places online you can go to find out and to help you with communicating with your children, because a lot of parents just don't even want to have the conversation. They don't want to talk. They don't want to talk about that. And I get it, I do. So it's resources out there. Google is good. Then, like I said, ask your friend.
Very good. Thank you so much. How can the people reach you if they need to talk?
If you want to talk to me, then actually go ahead and reach out to me on Instagram. It's probably the easiest. Send me a DM on Instagram. It's www.instagram, and I'll put it down without hanging up this time. I'll put it at the bottom. But I'm on Instagram.com/QuinnCJRN, and it's QuinnCJRN or QuinnCJ everywhere that you look. You can find me. I am here on Facebook as well. And I do have a Facebook group. I have a lot going on, but just if you reach out to me, I will see it. You can also email me, and my email is quinn@quinncj.com, and it's just QUINNCJ.com. There are also free resources on my Instagram as well as my Facebook page.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. This was wonderful. And maybe we can have you back again if you're open to coming back and talking about a little bit of intimacy. But thank you so much once again. And thank you guys for joining us. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.
Thank y'all. Bye.